from my surgery, my mother was standing beside my bed. But there's a lot of dark in a hospital as well.
You would get this uneasy feeling because you knew that you were not alone.
I saw this apparition. Whatever it was had ill intentions.
His eyes were black.
Something was taking over my body.
I have never, ever been that scared in my life.
It's 2019 in a Canadian industrial town. Michelle Wadge is facing the fight of her life.
July 2018, I was diagnosed with a form of thyroid cancer. I had surgery to have my 18.5 centimeter tumor removed out of my chest. Finding out at 37 years old that you have cancer is absolutely terrifying. You don't know what's going to happen the next day. You don't know if you have 6 months to plan for the rest of your life. In order to crack my chest open, they had to stop my heart, and I was physically dead for 4 minutes and 31 seconds while they proceeded to take the tumor out.
Six hours later, Michelle is in her recovery room.
This is where it's gonna get really emotional for me because I haven't told anybody this. Except you guys. My mother passed away of May of 2013, and when I woke up from my surgery, my mother was standing beside my bed. She didn't say anything to me, she didn't speak in any way, but the love in her eyes and the warmth that I felt from her made me know everything was gonna be okay. Mom? That was my first encounter with an apparition ever, but it wasn't the only one. Something in me and about me had completely changed.
Six months after her surgery, Michelle is in remission and working at the very hospital that saved her life.
It has a place in my heart. I'm very drawn to that place. I work in the cafeteria. I love my job because I have a sense of pride. Keeping the doctors and the nurses and the PSWs fed and keeping their brains all to their full potential so they can do whatever they can for the patients of our hospital. But not everything that occurs in a hospital is always a good thing. There's a lot of dark in a hospital as well. It was very, very early morning, and my supervisor and I, we were prepping for the breakfast rush.
Where's the bacon?
It's right there. I had set the tray of bacon on the cooling table in order to get prepped. What the hell? how does a huge pan of bacon just up and disappear? It doesn't have legs. I know it didn't walk away.
It can't be. I took it out.
The tray of bacon is back in the warming oven. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. Nobody else in there whatsoever. The other staff don't start until about an hour and a half later. My supervisor and I were flabbergasted. Very weird and confusing. I was very, very puzzled. When we close the cafeteria at nighttime, the kitchen has to be in a certain pristine order. Everything has a place. The next morning, there was another incident. It was almost like somebody had flipped all the pots and pans upside down and they were stacked on each other. But how they were stacked was weird.
What the hell?
We did not know what to think of this whole situation. Both of us brought it down to there was something in that kitchen with us. Something definitely wanted our attention. Maybe there was a message for somebody, maybe there was a message for me. I was definitely scared. Shortly after, I had to go to the basement to have a photo ID made for a staff member. The photo room also happens to be where the morgue is as well. I was so nervous. I had this feeling that somebody was watching me. It was like all the little hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I could not shake that feeling.
We've all had that experience of being alone in a room, but being convinced that somebody else is in there with us, that we're being watched by unseen eyes. Maybe it's just our imagination, but maybe, especially in the case of somebody who's sensitive, like Michelle, it's something more than that.
There was a wheelchair leaned up against the wall. The wheelchair started moving very slowly. Almost like somebody was sitting in it and taking their foot and moving themselves back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I saw this apparition or mass or thing or whatever you want to call it. Whatever it was had ill intentions. It was every single thing I have ever been scared of in my entire life. It was as black as night is the only way I could describe it. I was terrified. It was making its way in through the doors to the morgue. This 7-foot solid black thing slipped through this crack. And I knew at that point I had to get out of there right away. almost to the point of tears.
You okay?
I didn't say anything to him at that point because I couldn't explain what I saw or what I had felt. It couldn't gather my thoughts at first, and that's not me. I went back to work, trying to get into my groove, trying to forget everything that's happened. As I was coming out of the fridge, I could hear what I thought was a distinctive little giggle. Hee 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 hee.
Did you hear that? Nothing.
I kind of brushed it off at first. Later, as I was closing, the giggles started again. It was pretty much anywhere I walked in that hospital. It was like I was being followed. Next morning, it started again.
You hear that?
And he goes, "Can you hear that giggling?" At that point in time, I knew right there that it wasn't all in my head, and there was something that was following me around, giggling. All these occurrences in the past couple of weeks happening, basically surrounding me, really had my red flags up. I really felt that something was specifically trying to get my attention.
Hello?
So I started talking to it.
I know you're here.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find out what you want. Do you need help?
I thought maybe they don't know that they're dead. They don't know that they have passed on. And things like moving pots and pans and the giggles. Maybe this was somebody trying to reach out to me saying, "Hey, I'm here. I need your help."
Dear Lord, a lost soul is here with me. The soul that needs your help to cross over.
I said a little prayer, sending them into the light.
Please help them. Help them find a way.
And after that was done, I didn't feel anything in that kitchen anymore. It felt a lot lighter. It was almost like the air was a little bit easier to breathe. I sat in the cafeteria table on my lunch break and just tried to process my thoughts. And that's when I came to the conclusion, okay, Michelle, you got something here that everybody else doesn't have. This surgery and dying on the table has allowed me to connect with the other side.
Michelle has undergone a life or death surgery. She had her heart stopped by the surgeon for 4.5 minutes, which means she was technically dead for that period of time. And time again, we hear these experiences of people, men and women that pass through death's door, even for a brief period, and when they come back, they are changed. Their perception of the world has broadened. They're able to see spirits. They're able to hear spirit voices.
Once I confronted this spirit, I honestly thought that would be it. That would be it for the experiences that I've had at the hospital. And that's when I had the most terrifying experience of my life. Supervisor had informed me that we're not allowed to keep any of our personal belongings up in our workspace and that there is a locker room downstairs. So I had to go to the dreaded basement again. I could feel my anxiety rising. It's a huge room. There has to be about 1,500 to 2,000 lockers in there, if not more. This is the locker room for the entirety of the hospital.
Hello? Is somebody in here?
It was eerily silent. You couldn't hear the furnace, you couldn't hear the lights above, and usually with fluorescent lights you will hear them zizz. There was no sound at all. Nothing. A locker is made out of metal. I would think that there would be some sort of sound. Nothing. Not a sound at all. And I started to feel really, really strange. It almost felt like something was taking over my body. Almost like I was being engulfed in a big cloud of fear. My heart was pounding out of my chest. The hairs on my neck were standing. My mouth went very, very dry, and I had this really distinct metallic taste, like having a mouthful of blood. My brain was saying, it's time to run, but my feet didn't want to move. slowly, one by one by one. And then boom, there was the black mass again. I was terrified. There was something in there that wanted me to know, hey, I'm here, and that's terrifying.
Stop.
The feeling that I got from it, it wasn't a good feeling. It wasn't a feeling of lighthearted play. Stop! Leave me alone! Whatever was in that locker room with me was not of good intention. It was evil. It was dark. It had an intention in mind, and I did not want to be the one to find out what that intention was. I got out of there, and I physically cried.
Hey, are you alright?
I'm never going into that basement again.
What the hell happened?
And from that day forward, I refused to go down into the basement. Anytime they try to send me down there, nope, you can fire me before I go back down there. That's how terrified I was. I'm willing to lose my job as long as I don't have to go back into that basement. I definitely now believe that it doesn't matter, a hospital, anywhere that there is life or death, traumatic experiences, natural experiences, there's going to be paranormal activity. If you have unfinished business, that you will stay behind to finish your business. Usually every day there's something that happens at work. I might see something or I might hear something, but that's become my everyday normal now. This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm subjected to. So unless anything feels malicious or dark or bad or evil in any way, shape, or form, I just embrace it, I let it go, and I say there's enough room here for the both of us. And that's it.
At a group home for youth, May Gagne is starting her shift as a caseworker.
And my duties include taking care of the clients of their daily routines, bathing, feeding, recreational activities.
God, that is so gross.
I enjoy making them laugh.
Oh, no.
And it puts a smile on your face every day.
Screw you, Steve. I'll kill you for that.
I spent my night shift with my coworker, and he was quite the character, and he would scare the crap out of me just because he thought it was funny to see me freaking jump. He was a riot. We had so much fun on night shift.
But May senses that the facility holds dark secrets.
The house is approximately 100 years old. The house had a weird vibe to it. It was creepy. especially in the basement. I hated going down there by myself. The hair would kind of go up on the back of your neck. You would get kind of like this uneasy feeling because you knew that you were not alone and that you were being watched all the time. It was just a feeling that you're not alone. I could feel something breathing on the back of my neck. I started to shake, and I got shivers going up and down my entire body. The little hairs on the back of my neck were standing up, and it was like a tingling feeling going up into my head and over my body. What was behind me from what I felt was dark. I saw this vision of a man, and he was very angry. And then he disappeared. Boy, did I ever bolt it out of there.
Hey, what's up with you?
There's something down there.
You want me to call Ghostbusters, sweetie?
I'm serious. I'm not imagining it.
He didn't really believe in the paranormal.
Hey, it's okay to be scared. It's just a creepy basement.
Yeah.
After all our work was done, we would end up watching ghost shows.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Stop it.
We heard knocking and someone running up and down the stairs from the basement.
There's no way anyone could have got past that.
We assumed that it was the client from upstairs coming down.
There's no one here.
There was nobody there. No one. We could hear footsteps running up the stairs. And it was fast. It was like not normal walking up the stairs. You could hear the urgency in the footsteps going up and down, like someone was trying to get out. I was so scared because I had never experienced that before.
Despite feeling uneasy, May is unable to avoid the basement.
I had to go downstairs because it was my job, and I had to clean the fridge. I was scared. I felt something around me. An uneasy feeling of that I was not alone, and that someone was there with me. I saw this young adolescent boy.
Who are you?
He just stood there.
How did you get in here? Are you okay? My God. Oh my God.
I was terrified. My heart was racing.
Oh my God.
I got out of there like a bat out of hell.
Despite the terrifying encounter, May continues to work at the group home. But things are only about to get worse.
Did you smell that?
We started to smell weird things in the house.
Yeah. What the hell?
And it kind of smelled like rotten eggs. It was a smell that it was like, what in the heck? It smelled like something died, really. The smells that were coming throughout the house in different spots were just pretty freaky and eerie, and it gave me the chills, especially with that putrid smell everywhere. I was very nervous, and we had completed all of our chores early, and it was about 3 a.m. in the morning.
What the hell?
God.
There was this weird sound coming at full blast from upstairs. I turned to Steve and I said, "Oh, client upstairs playing his wonky music again." It kind of sounded like wails. And it was like coming through like the walls.
Charlie!
The client was sound asleep in his room, and we couldn't hear the music anymore. Let me tell you, I kind of got the shakes a little bit there. It scared me. And Steve, too. I could tell from his eyes that he was a little bit unsure of what was going on, and it was kind of freaking him out a little bit, too. He wouldn't admit it, though, because he's Steve. I was kind of hoping that it was going to shift, but I was wrong. Things were getting worse and worse. The female client, all of a sudden, I heard her get quite aggressive verbally. When we went upstairs, the goosebumps instantaneous came over me. The rapid heartbeat, the uneasy feeling the air was in there was heavy and cold.
Natalie, can I come in and talk to you?
She opens up the door and she says, May's going home. Steve's going home. She was not in her normal state of... She wasn't her. All of a sudden, I heard music at full blast.
Charlie?
That was one heavy air in there.
Charlie? Charlie?
He's growling, and he's rocking back and forth.
Charlie!
His eyes were black.
Charlie!
I have never ever seen black eyes before.
Charlie! Charlie!
I was petrified.
Charlie! Charlie!
It really scared me. And I was trembling. I just wanted to get out because I was so scared that I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to get hurt by him.
This is insane!
I knew right then and there that it was that dark presence, not man, from the basement had affected him.
The disturbing physical manifestations experienced by the client, especially those of his eyes turning completely black, suggest that an outside force is trying to, if not just influence him, perhaps even take him over.
Desperate for peace, May looks for the cause of the dark disturbances.
I came to learn the history of this house. There was the former staff member who worked in the house. He was taking care of the children. He was the one that was administering the medication to them. He over-medicated them and they fell asleep and they drowned in the tub. And that is who I felt was that dark presence in the basement.
The question remains, why is the entity still attached to this location? He may be worried about being judged in the next life, and perhaps he's sticking around because he's frightened of what comes next for him.
He tortured himself after he passed away with his anger, guilt, and pain. And I needed to set him free of that. I have never, ever been that scared in my life.
You know what you did to those children. To forgive yourself. I forgive you.
Then all of a sudden, the air changed, and there was no more heaviness in the basement.
One might expect the last meeting to be a confrontation, but that's not how it actually turned out. Instead, she goes downstairs to the basement to seek him out on his own terms in his own place, and she offers him forgiveness for the things that he's done. And it's possible that all he has ever wanted is some form of absolution. He wants to be redeemed, and once he has that forgiveness, he is able to move on and leave the location behind for the living.
The activity in the house just stopped. The house has been very calm. It's back to normal. This event that has changed my life in a lot of ways, it has given me more insight into the paranormal, the history behind what has happened in a house. I do have a respect for the dead, and I do feel that some of them, not all of them, can turn around and go towards the light. And I felt that I really helped this dark presence. And that was very satisfying to me, because I kind of feel like it's a lifelong passion is to help other people, hence why I am in this field.